Daniel James is with me tonight, and I'm so pleased to see you, Daniel. It's brilliant to have you on for the first time. We've also got Jacqueline Harvey, a veteran of Chewing the Fat, and Ashanti Onka there, also new to Chewing the Fat, but Ashanti and I have had many an exchange on the air with your knowledge of films, as we were talking about. But Daniel, you were telling us that song was written about Debbie Harry's dog.
Yeah, she was in a New York apartment with Chris Stein, the guitarist.
Yeah.
And they were jamming, and she was sitting down on a little stool, and the dog was there, and that's how she came up with the lyrics. But it just didn't scan Sunday Boy, you know?
Yes.
And so she changed it to Sunday Girl. But as I was thinking to myself, thank God it wasn't a parrot, you know? But, you know, isn't it great? Isn't it great at the moment? We've got so many fantastic... She was... You know, she played the Peace Hall recently in Halifax.
Yeah.
She's got to be in her 70s, and it's fabulous that older artists, women and men, are getting to have longer careers
now. Well, look at Cyndi Lauper. She's 71 years old today. Her first Glastonbury next weekend, then she's going off on a huge tour. I love that. You know, just brilliant. Yes. Absolutely brilliant. Jacqueline, the sun is shining. And this leads us nice. Well, not now, obviously, but you know,
not in the middle of the night.
It will do in a few hours' time.
Yeah, the weather seems to have really got the memo that summer is officially here.
Indeed.
Yes, and I think for me, it's the change. It affects our mood so much. And my question was about really, why is it that when it's sunny, that the mood and energy of the whole city or wherever you are, it just changes. Is the sun some type of superfood or super? No, but it's true. You know, what goes on? People become pleasant. Everything just looks golden and lovely. The actual rays of the sun must be doing something to us. We know about vitamin D and its importance in our lives. And us being not even as far Northern Hemisphere as those in Scandi countries, you know, we suffer from SAD, people can suffer from SAD, and that this year has been elongated.
Oh, definitely.
Throughout the most of this year. We have not had enough sunlight, and I think it affects us in Britain more than we'd like to imagine.
I think you're right.
As soon as sun starts to shine, there's so many parties, everyone's out on the streets, and it's almost like we should be outside all the time, like animals. You know, when you see the sheep coming out in spring and they start to hop and jump and stuff
gambling
like that.
Around, that's like us.
It's sort of like we need to go out and hop and gamble and all that type of thing. And it's just so, I would like to know, like, there must be more to it than what we're even being told about the sun. And seasonality, you know, and especially being in the season like summer, how beneficial. We're nicer to our friends and relatives. We go and visit them. We go and visit people we might not necessarily like. We feel stronger that we can combat, you know, all sorts of stuff. The festivals are on.
Yep.
You know, it's just great. The sea's there. You can travel. You can do all sorts of stuff. And that's just because of the sun.
Ashanti, what do you think? Does the sunshine make you want to socialise more? Does it improve your mood?
It certainly does. It's like I move with the mood, with the weather, and when the sun is out, sunny Ashanti's out. You know, very very gregarious and bubbly, and it's serotonin, isn't it? There's serotonin, endorphins that are set off by the sun, and just the mere sun rays coming into your window when you're waking up, and you want to wake up earlier.
Yes.
To me, I love lying in, you know, during the winter, cold days, rainy days. The minute it's sunny days, suddenly I'm up an hour earlier. Everything changes, and I guess it is that light. You know, when people are talking about being, you know, feeling down, low mood, etc. It's all about darkness and then seeking the light. It's the whole idea.
Yes.
I'm a Hindu, and in Hinduism as well, seeking the light, the festival of light. These are all parts of our being. And I guess this is from the sun. The sun used to be revered as a god back in the day.
Yes.
You know,
back in Egyptian times, it was a god. Yes.
And so it is. You know, even in Hinduism, we have the Surya Bhagavan, who is the sun god, and you You say, please give us the light. And it's this whole idea of seeking the light, and the light, rejuvenating us in some way. You're absolutely right, Jackie, that is the case. And I certainly am thankful for it. I waited so long.
I know. I don't remember a more eagerly anticipated summer than this one. Are you a sunshine boy, Daniel, as well? Do you love to get out in the summer?
Well, despite the fact that I'm sitting here looking like a pint of milk, how pale I am. I put my shorts on the other day and I shocked myself. Like 2 strings of knotted cotton. The sun they were deprived. You know what? We've had such a long winter and a winter spring that didn't turn into a spring. We are, where we live, we have the 4 seasons, and some countries in the southern hemisphere have that sunshine all the time. And I think get to the end of the spring here and we're craving to open the curtains, open the windows, shake the cobwebs, and just socialise, because we've been huddled on sofas with thick jumpers on and central heating on for months. If you think about it, October to May, practically.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when that sun comes out, I think we have a chemical reaction to it, probably something we don't understand. And we just want to run along a beach. We just want to see friends and have fun.
Do you know what I think it is? I think as human beings we crave connection. We love to connect with other people. That's one of our most natural and basic instincts, is to want to connect to each other. And we tend to hibernate when it's cold and wet and dark. And when the sun comes out, we do go outside. Like I was just walking into the studios tonight through Fitzrovia in London, and every restaurant, every bar, people were stood outside, sat outside eating. And that buzz, that atmosphere that exists when you can be outside because it's nice and warm, it's contagious. You just want to be part of it, don't you?
Well, I think people crave community. We're social animals, and we crave to be with our community in convivial environments. Being freezing cold at the back of a pub, with the lamps on is not going to do it. And actually having those rays hit the skin, hit the retina, all of the whole focal thing, and providing us with the nutrient vitamin D, which is a super hormone and the basis of all immunity in the body and feeding so many other organs. I think that we all need to consider, and probably the flights, now COVID's over, more people will travel this year than any other year since prior to COVID, because it is essential for health. And, which is why I wrote a seasonal health book called Body Cycles, which came out yesterday. But it's because that there are things that we need to do in each season to maintain health and improve it. And I've seen the flight. I've been on a few planes this year for work, but I've had vitamin D, and I'm in such a more positive position going into this week. It's just like, it's going to be just like when I was abroad. It won't be. I'll turn up in my kaftan to work.
It's not just us though. I think nature appreciates it. It's like my garden at the moment. I'm lucky enough to have a small garden, but it's burst into life in the last couple of weeks. So there's and those flowers, the dahlias, the jasmines all burst into flower this week, and it just brings you joy, doesn't it? To smell those amazing
joy.
smells. It is absolutely.
The sun is joy. Basically,
do you think you get more done? Do you think there's more productivity? Do you think as people we do more?
Yes,
sunny, because our spirits are lifted, and you look at the clock and think, actually, it's still light till 9:30.
Yes,
you can do so much more in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
People have struggled, in the spring to pay their bills. It's been a grim spring, and I think this summer has been craved more than any summer for a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
So the only thing I would say to anybody who's setting out in the sun, there have been warnings as well because of the heat.
Heat and UV rays.
Lots of sunscreen. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. Sunscreen is very important, because it's something that we weren't told about and taught, in schools when we were younger. But it is so very important for everyone of all skin tones. So please, please, please. I sound like a doctor here, but I have one of my friends had developed a skin cancer because she hadn't been using it. And it's something that I always say to people: if you're not going to hide out in the shade, if you're going to sunbathe, then please use lots of sunscreen.
So
but even
important.
if you're not,
So we were
just
talking
use
about this
it,
last night because Asda and 2 or 3 other brands of sunscreen were tested by Which, and they were found not to provide the level of protection they said they were. So you need to double check that. I must just read you this text, Daniel, which is coming from Caroline, who said, my niece recently had her engagement party in London. Caroline's in Wellingborough. And I just told her that I wouldn't be able to travel to London and get back without finding somebody to babysit the dog. Plus, I had to be up for work the next day, so unfortunately, I couldn't make it. Goodness only knows where the wedding's going to be. So your friend's not alone in her dilemma here.
I think regular people, it's all right for these showbiz people who, these big stars who can
Says
fly.
the man
here
who's
and
had
there.
2 top 10 hits.
Yeah, but I did. But you know what? I did cycle here tonight, so
for balance.
Down to earth,
Yeah.
It's all
I think
good.
ordinary people just haven't got the money to do these things, and I think do it closer to home and have your mates around.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Sharon as well says, just want to say what an uplifting show tonight, from talking positively about being on your own, which can happen to all of us, to your guests tonight who have also been really positive and fun. And I think you might like to know that they've just announced Debbie Harry will be playing at Glastonbury this year. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Well, there we go.
wow.
I mean, there is no stopping her.
Yeah.
There's some quite.
Ain't no
I think we're gonna finish on one of your songs in a few minutes, Daniel, from your years with Yell. Should we play Let's Go Round Again? Should we play that one?
Yes.
I had a fabulous time. I had a fabulous time in the 90s in Yale, and it's great to be now back creating my new music. Go to the Heritage Chart. I've had a few hits on there, and hopefully by September I'll have a new single out.
Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
Ashanti, can I ask you about your next topic, which is, because this ties in with one of Jacqueline's as well. This is about flavour, about taste. Now, you've discovered some new flavours which are really getting you excited, Ashanti, in the kitchen, aren't they? Tell us about that.
100%. I guess one word I will say to everyone is Ottolenghi. I've been looking at his stuff, and everyone loves this man and his work, and he has just launched a series of spices at Waitrose. So I popped in the other day. I was there, and I just saw it and thought, this is a new range. Let me try it. And let me just say, I put it on salmon and on chicken, put them in the oven in separate containers or separate trays, I should say. And it came out beautifully.
Wow.
I was just amazed by how these flavors were popping. I then, garnished it with a little bit of sumac, and I tried to go with those kind of Middle Eastern flavors, and it just popped so much because my mom can't take chili. So this was quite a very mild, without putting anything extra in it. But the spices, Middle Eastern spices, seem to really. They really excited me. I mean, I grew up eating Sri Lankan spices. My mom made Sri Lankan at home. And it was really interesting for me to kind of move into other spices around the world, whether it's Thai spices or whether it's even certain Indian spices that I wouldn't have grown up with. And now I'm really into these Middle Eastern spices.
I'm excited by this because I just tend to rely on chili and garlic and all of the regular ones that you'll find in everybody's kitchen cupboard. But this sounds fantastic. I'm loving this.
Honestly.
I just think next time we should all convene at Ashanti's and we'll have this.
Absolutely. Although I'd be doing mine in the air fryer, not the oven. I've moved on from the
I'm
oven.
still an old oven.
Air fryer.
What do you think, Jacqueline? Because one of your topics was about the idea that fruit and veg these days has become so blooming tasteless from supermarkets.
Yes, and obviously with Ashanti being Asian, I like spices, and I've travelled a bit this year, and I generally do for work. And I noticed that in the UK, the fruit and veg seems to be more bland, and when I'm abroad, it tastes like it used to taste.
Well, tomatoes and avocados are the best examples of that. If you have a tomato or an avocado in Spain or in any other country, it just tastes amazing.
It just tastes so beautiful.
Yeah.
Peppers, everything just seems more vibrant. And I think it's to do, again, with the sun.
Yes.
And the fact that they're ripened properly, so they're getting what they need from the environment. But also, our food is stored too long. It's not ripened. It's stored. It's held in storage. It's not local. It's not seasonal. We're going to supermarkets, and luckily we can get spices, like you say. Ottolenghi has that range, and I'm a fan of the preserved lemons I had in Morocco, the tagine. And if you want to look for mild spicy food, Moroccan food is great for that. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
And I agree with you, Jackie, about this idea of the food that we buy that's been stored so long. And, sometimes paying a little bit more and going to a farmer's market can make all the difference.
Yes, the market is
just getting heritage tomatoes and stuff,
yes,
like real tomatoes. Whereas some of the stuff that you get in a normal supermarket now just doesn't have that taste, and you're thinking, is it me or is it?
But it's so expensive, though. It's just not affordable to ordinary people. I prefer the freezer.
If you go to market stalls where you live, everyone has a market stall somewhere, and you get these bowls, and they've got avos 5 for £1 or 5 for £1.50. You get tomatoes.
Yes,
they do taste like proper food rather than the supermarket stuff that tastes homogenized. So and also it's cheaper. Go to a local market stall, and you come away with bags and bags of veg, and they just taste a little bit more like veg.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not so mushy. But if you're in an urban environment, sometimes it can be difficult to even find a decent market these days, because they've actually closed down a lot of markets, the fruit sellers, and they're turning them into food stalls where it's cooked food now. Many markets are now just running lots of pre-prepared cooked food, which is not quite the same. It's tasty, but you want to be able to cook your food at home. So I don't know. Outside, in the country, you get great markets, and I've had great food from the fruit, vegetables, and stuff that taste okay and are seasonal.
I think the lesson learned is make sure you get the best ingredients you can, and then spice it up as best you can as well.
Yes,
and then you'll bring the flavour. That'll bring the flavour. Yeah. Look, guys, we're almost out of time, but I'm so glad we managed to quickly plug the book, Jacqueline. The new book, Body Cycles: An Essential Guide on How to Live Naturally in Line with the Seasons, is just out now.
Yes, it actually came out just a little ago. We had a launch yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's available Amazon, Waterstones, everywhere.
And we're just into summer now. We was summer on Thursday, wasn't it?
So you can just look at the summer chapter and learn things that will enhance your well-being. Mind, body, and spirit.
Fabulous.
Exactly.
I love it. Daniel, we know you're in the studio as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, check out Spotify app and all the download sites for my solo material. That would be great.
And Bangers and Chat, where can we listen to your radio show?
Yes, it's syndicated. So if you go to my website, www.thedanieljames.com, there are links on there, plus all my music's on there as well.
Excellent. And Ashanti, you're always busy, aren't you? What's next for you?
Oh gosh, I'm actually doing some work with Rain Dance Film Festival, hosting Q&A. So I had a lady from Kenya yesterday, and day before yesterday, a young man from Spain who'd made his first feature after going to film school in Britain. And it's the festival is buzzing, so that's been really nice. And I'm Ashanti Omkar everywhere on all socials, ASHANTIOMKAR. Come find me, say hi. And I think it's a very buzzy time. As Jackie has mentioned about the sunshine giving us radiance, it seems that every film company and every TV company also has loads of events going on top of art exhibitions, on top of taking over the world. It's a good time to be alive.
Well, I think so too. And let's get out there, meet people, connect, eat some nice spiced food, listen to some great music, and life is
absolutely
good. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you.
Should we all have a dance? Thank you very much. Should we all have a dance to this next track?
I think we should, because this is you. This is Daniel James with Yell. What year was this released? This
1991.
Wow. Okay, well, let's go round again, which is brilliant. Thank you guys so much for chewing the fat with me tonight. Joe Good's going to be back with you next Friday evening, including the Barking Hour, and we'll finish with this absolute classic. Thank you to Mel, and thank you to Tash for brilliantly producing Through the Glass, and I'll see you back here on your local BBC radio station very, very very soon. Enjoy this. It's Yells. Let's go round again. The news is on the way next.